All right, guys, here we go. Let's get started. Let's cover our trade execution for this box-in strategy and trading plan. So I just wanted to go ahead and cover this. I forgot to mention it on the video earlier, but it's the goal. It's actually not a 12-month goal. It's just the goal where you're trying to get the account. So your first goal, yeah, you can get there in 12 months, but obviously if you're targeting 20% and your 20% target is only 26,000. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, 250 and 26,000 are very far apart. So just understand that, I actually did change it on the sheet and it just says goal where you actually want to end up, not necessarily in 12 months. Of course, that is an awesome goal to get to in 12 months. But just keep in mind that if you stick to 1% and you actually stay there and don't actually do more than 1%, you're actually only going to end up at 26. But you'll see when you start implementing this system that you actually do end up doing more than 1% every day. And you'll actually be pretty surprised the fact that you're keeping track of it and you stop over trading, because one of the biggest problems we have is that we keep trading when we shouldn't, and we end up giving back our gains. But once you have a plan like this where you are able to stop yourself, you'll be able to produce results like this. And check it out. This is just in 7 days. And look at this. Only 9 trades, guys. I only took 9 trades. Look at my win ratio. It's not even that good. 55%. Only 5 of them were winners. 4 of them were losers. But still, look at the result, okay? This is the result. This is a account that started with 3,000. So obviously, to my ultimate goal, I'm already at 1%, 1.39%. And I did fix the sheet. So actually, this would be a different number here. I actually did fix the sheet. And actually, let me go ahead and check what that number would be with that fixed. Give me 1 second. Let me just pull it up here. All right, so the actual number is 13.16% once the sheet is fixed. The only problem I had here was that I wasn't filtering for when the percentage is at or below 0. So now I took off all the zeros and the actual percentage is 13.16%. That was my average daily return. And my average daily return on the profit, let me go ahead and fix that as well. All right, let's go ahead and fix that. And that has to be if it's greater than or less than 0. Less than or greater than 0. All right, awesome. My average daily profit actually ended up being $495, guys. And $495.23. Here we go. I just fixed that. So those were the problems with that. I wasn't filtering out for the 0 days and the 0%. So that was actually the average daily profit there. So as you can see here, as I covered on the first video where we're setting up our goals, my goal is 1% a day, guys. It's simple. So at least $30. I want at least $30. And anytime I go over that, obviously that's a really, really good. That means I did well above that. So I'm ahead for the week. The next day, my goal will be adjusted accordingly. So now that I have more money in the account, the goal is adjusted. So now my target is $32.15 because I made $215. See, it's really not that much, but and you be like, but what am I doing with 1%? Well, 1% daily compounds very, very well. Again, when you exceed this, it's really, really good because when you have losing days like these here, you keep that into perspective. It's like, hey, you're still ahead. Just make sure you don't start making your losers bigger than your winners, okay? Again, we had one great day, which was on the 27th. This is the only day that we actually just did not trade the box in and we traded a pattern. So we waited for a pattern to form. And actually, it ended up just being better than we expected. And it just played out really, really nice. But even if you take this one out, guys, I still made over $1,000. So the account would have went from $3,000 to $4,000 regardless of the fact. So even without this trade, let's say I would have just walked away for the day because of the where the tick opened for that day, it was still a great day. And obviously, as you can see, the last day was a really small day. We did below 1% and we only did $52. But whatever, it's still a good day. I can't complain. So our win ratio was 55%. And then here are pre-market volumes. I did add that to the sheet. I forgot to add it to the one I was sharing. So I did add it to the sheet. So when you go download it, you'll have this field here available for you guys, because it'll show you your pre-market volume, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and move on here. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a look at everything here. All right, so here we go. This is where we ended up, guys. This is the P&L statement here. So let's take a look here at everything. We went from the 20th through the 29th, guys. Pretty much 1 to 2 trades per day if we took a trade. And obviously, we had a 36% return in just those 7 days, okay? So that was it. I'm going to go ahead and start covering day 1. So execution day 1, which was March the 20th, 2019. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the sheet one more time. All right, so the goal for the first day was just $30. Obviously, we exceeded that. We did $215, and we only did 2 trades. One of them was a winner. One of them was a loser. The market was at 39,000, which is below the 45 I look for on average for a regular moving day. So, I was a little cautious, but I still keep an eye on for potential runners, okay? So as I mentioned before, we've only took 2 trades. Those 2 trades were Tesla. Took a Tesla put, which I got stopped out on. We lost $34, so minus 4.93%. And then on Goldman Sachs, we layered in at the 200s and the 205 puts. And obviously, you can see here, we ended up doing 23% on that one and 22% on the other one, and ended up capitalizing on 12% for the day and $215 for the day. So taking a look at our positions here, we entered those positions at 9:33 for the Tesla position, and we bought a put. Okay, honestly, this is one of those that I should not have entered a put position based on the daily candle. But you know what? The volume was so high, I just kind of thought, hey, we may get a nice little reversal here, at least until 1040. But it's just not the case that I got. That's not what actually ended up playing out. So whatever. And then at 9:36, I bought some Goldman Sachs, and 9:46, I added to that position. So let's go ahead and take a look at the entries. All right, so let's look at the market first. What was the market providing for us? Let's take a look. All right, so the tick opened below near 500 basically. So let's take a look at that. The tick opened around the 500 area. So it's telling me there's selling pressure, which supported my bias for a potential move lower on Tesla, for example, which was the first one that I entered. Then we're looking at the E-minis. E-minis also pushing lower. So again, I had no reason to doubt that this is what was going to happen for me and for the markets as a whole. So I said, you know what, maybe we'll head lower before the chop kicks in and we start heading sideways. Again, S&P did the same, NASDAQ did the same, and so did the Dow, okay? Everything was heading lower for the first 10 minutes of the day. So I had no reason to doubt that was going to be the move, taking what I was looking at. So when I'm looking at everything, the VIX was heading higher as well, okay? Now, things to consider here was that I should have been paying a little bit more closer attention to. Obviously, the volume came in at 39,000 for the day. So you guys know. So and every day that it comes in below 45, the lower it goes, the more chop I'm expecting. So now, things I could have looked at here were obviously where the RSIs were. So I had 1 red and 4 greens, or magenta blues, or whatever color you want to call these. Okay, we didn't have it on the NASDAQ, but the rest of them. So I had 3 greens and a red. So potential signs for, hey, we may get a potential reversal here. But then again, the biggest sign for me was the chop based on the volume. But that was my reasoning for entering the trades for confidence. There was no reason for me to doubt that we would get a move lower based on the tick, the VIX moving higher, and the market moving lower, just looking at the first candle. Obviously, when we're trading, we can only trade with what we see. So when you're looking at the chart and look at here at the right side, You only trade what you can see. You don't know where the chart is going to be. Your broker doesn't allow you to trade in the middle so that you can say, this would have been the perfect entry here to go short. We don't know that. We can only trade what we see. We don't know that this is what the future is going to look like. We can only trade it based on what we see and obviously make our best judgment and stick to our plan, which says, hey, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to get out here if it goes against me. I'm going to get out here when it goes my way. All right, so looking at the Tesla chart, this is why the only reason why I said, hey, the daily was telling me we may get a reversal higher. So look at the pattern that was being formed, right? So when you're looking at this pattern, it clearly tells you, hey, man, this may be going higher instead of lower. But when the market opened and it showed me, hey, that the tick opened near 500, minus 500, the market starts tanking right away. The stock starts tanking right away with significant volume. I had no reason not to believe that it was going to not continue lower. So that's why I took it. Even though the RSI is down here, it could easily, and the stock did gap up. But again, we're going down here. We're going lower. We're going lower. There is no reason why it can't gap up and then continue lower, guys. So because the RSI is at the lows doesn't mean this is going to be the day that it reverses higher. It is just something I pay attention to make sure, hey, I don't get caught by surprise. So obviously I didn't get caught by too much surprise because I did have my stop. It was a pretty tight stop and I got out fairly quickly and just lost 34 bucks. So obviously I got in at 933 as soon as it broke this pivot here. So when it broke the pivot, I didn't even wait for the candle to close. I kind of got in before the candle closed because I want to make sure I take advantage of the move in case I see a reversal pattern down here potentially and I see it, I can get out and still get out in the green. But obviously that's not what happened. It just reversed right away and it took me out right here at about 10:08. And it's all right. Once it closed above my stop, which is the high of the pre-market, that's it. Obey the rules, guys. It's not even worth it. Yeah, it came back. Maybe I could have saved some money, but I don't know that that's what it's going to do. No, you know what I mean? I don't know that. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I know for a fact it's going to return. No, I don't know that for a fact. You don't know that for a fact. Nobody really knows that for a fact. We can only trade what the charts give us, and that's what we're going to do to the best of our abilities, okay? Moving on to Goldman Sachs. All right, Goldman Sachs, I got in at 936 and at 946, respectively. I believe those were the times. Let's take a look. So this is the daily chart. This is what it looked like. The day prior, as you can see here, we were at the peaks. The 2 days prior, RSI was at the peaks. This is not a reversal pattern here that I was expecting. So that's why I didn't trade it the day before or got in at the end of day. But once it opened here, and with the volume coming in, these are the perfect trades. These are the trades that we want. If we can find these every single time, you're going to win with the box-in strategy. You guys already know the box-in strategy is pretty straightforward. It's a box-in. You're going to draw a line on top. You're going to draw a line on the bottom. And when it breaks either up or low, you're going to take it in that direction. When you have days like this where the stock completely just sells off right from the beginning, or rallies right from the beginning over here, for example, you can't deny these days. These are the perfect days. So when you see a day like this here, see this? Barely any movement lower. It hit that low right off of that 50 MA and it completely rallied. Boom, for the rest of the day. Those are the perfect days. Look at this day here. Again, same thing, same scenario. It pretty much opened. It barely made an attempt to go higher. And it completely sold off. So that's what we're looking at. And this is the reason I told you guys earlier to keep writing down when the RSI is above 80, guys. Look at this. When the stock comes up on your scanner and it says, hey, we're above 80, both of us, keep an eye on it. Keep following it. Keep following it up. Because when you get a peak at over 95 like it is here, a reversal is bound to happen. And especially if you catch it at the top, that is a multi-day run now. So the next day it gapped open. It opened up here. It rallied a little bit and then it reversed. If you catch that up there and then you hold that for the next couple of days, those are the trades that you're going to want to keep on because they're going to sell off and or rally if you're doing the RSI lows for a couple of days. And these are the ones that are going to end up paying off and growing your account. Okay. So that was the day chart. So that's what I was looking on the day chart. Remember, always looking at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture telling me as far as the stock is that I'm going to be trading? Okay, so the stock opens at 936. It broke below, so this is the pre-market low here. Obviously, you see it's this one here, but honestly, the box in makes sense on this one here. But you could have used either. It doesn't matter. For me, the reason I drew it up here is because where's the 200 MA, obviously. You see that? So I only gave it a little bit of time to see if it was going to break above that 200 MA. But once it failed and I saw the volume coming in, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and take this. So I took it 936, waited for it to break down at 946, which is the next candle, obviously, as you can see here. I took it here. I added some more. So I added 2 more. I didn't add too much, obviously. And with a small account, you can only add so many. I took my first profit at 1033. Let's double check that again. All right. So we took our profits here at 1033, 1033 and 1041. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened there. All right, so let's take a look here. So the 1030 candle is so 30, 40, 50, 10, 10, 20, 30. So the 1030 candle is that one right there. Is the last one before the green. So this is the one where I decided to take some profits right away because I was like, you know what? We got a little hammer here forming. We got a higher low, higher high. Let me go ahead and take it here. And I took the bigger chunk here because I said, you know what? Those are the ones that are most at risk. Obviously, they're the puts that are closer to the money. So I want to get out of those first, take my chunk there, and potentially let my other ones run. But once this candle closed up here, it actually hit my stop. So I got out of the rest of them. I wish I would have held them or got back in. But once I'm done with the trade, I kind of get out. I'm done with the trade. Because obviously, as you can see here, this is a significant move from 198 to 194. Would have been a lot nicer than from just 198 to 197. That would have been an extra $4, that I could have got on this play. But yeah, I took it on the next candle, 1041. When this candle closed at 1040, this is a 1040 candle here. Once it started to rally above this high, I just took it. I just didn't want to take the chance. So I didn't wait for the close, but it just wasn't, I didn't want to risk it. Basically, as you can see here, volume started coming in and it was just, hey, I took it. I chickened out, let's say. But yeah, so basically we follow it with our stops. At that point, it actually would have technically closed above the stop anyway. So the stop is here at around 198.52 or so. And yeah, so this one definitely probably would is above that stop. So that's pretty much it. I chickened out. No big deal. It happens, but that's the plan. I still ended up doing pretty well for the day. We ended up doing 215 total. And Goldman Sachs produced for us 130 and $118. So not a bad day at all, guys, for day one of the execution. So can't complain. I'll see you guys on the next one for 320.